Do you like your career? Really? Do you want to change it? Well, you're at the right place. We can help you. Here at Wema DevOps, we can train you. We can help you to not only just change your career, but also to actually succeed in it. Welcome to Wema DevOps.
Join a thriving community of learners and professionals at Wema DevOps, where you can get training, coaching, and counseling on your journey into the DevOps industry. Register now at wemadevops.com and become a DevOps engineer today.
What we offer here at Wema DevOps, when we look at our curriculum, as we've said, we will first start from the very basics. So you, as somebody who is coming in, never had any IT experience, but you can turn on a computer. That's a prerequisite, right? You don't have a college degree or anything. You are very new to it. So we will start you from the basics. And when you look at our curriculum, we're going to start by teaching you Linux, because Linux is an operating system, just like Windows. We will teach you how to work with computers, right? How to work with computers from the basics. Most of the industry, the operating system that is very common to use is what we call Linux. So we will teach you Linux from the basics. From Linux, we will teach you how to use Jira, because Jira is what we use for ticketing. Everything that we do at Wema DevOps, it is project-based, right? We will track every project that you do using Jira. In the industry, you have a lot of companies that use Jira and a lot of companies that use either Jira or ServiceNow, depending on the industry. So we're going to focus on helping you understand how to create tickets in Jira and how to use Jira. We do use Notion for documentation. So every one of our students will have an experience. You've had engineers testify and say they use Confluence. So Confluence is just another documentation. Everything that you do as an engineer, as you work on a project, you need to document it. You need to be able to have a record. So we will give you exposure to documentation. You will create tickets. You will work on tickets, work on projects, but you will also be able to document. We will teach you Git, not just Git. Git is the software that you install on your computer. GitHub, it is what you call a software as a service. You create an account where you can collaborate with other people that are using Git. So we will teach you GitHub, and we'll also teach you GitLab. So as an organization, every student, we will collaborate together. We have a GitHub and a GitLab account whereby we will collaborate. Every student will have access to the GitHub, and we will be writing code together and collaborate. So that way, you're having hands-on experience. By the time you graduate, by the time you are done with bootcamp, you actually understand everything that goes on at work, as the engineers testified. Okay, we're going to use AWS as our primary cloud. So we will teach you AWS, how AWS works. We'll also teach you Azure. We'll introduce you to Azure. We'll do some projects in Azure, but the primary cloud that we'll focus on is AWS. Once you understand how AWS works, then you can work with Azure, because cloud technologies are the same. It is just the naming convention. The technology, the concept is the same. So we'll focus on that. Now, when we are working with our cloud platforms, you heard words like infrastructure as a code. We're going to use a software called Terraform. Terraform is what we are going to be able to learn, but not just learn. We are going to use it. We're going to use Terraform to create what we call resources, to provision resources. We're going to use Terraform to do our configuration. So we will teach you Terraform, and not just Terraform. We will teach you what we call Terraform Cloud. Terraform Cloud, some companies use Terraform Cloud just because of the added security that it has, and also because of because of the support that you can find from the vendor. Okay. Then for our CI/CD, for our pipelines, we will teach you GitHub Actions. These are primary, okay, our primary. But we will also teach you GitLab CI. So we're going to focus on those two, GitLab CI. We will introduce you to Jenkins. Jenkins is another CI/CD tool that we do. But these are our primary focus. Why? Just because when we look at the industry trends and how easy it is to configure this, instead of the overhead of having to maintain a Jenkins server. So we are going to focus on this based on the industry trends. Okay, we teach you Ansible, then we'll teach you Packer. Packer is for building our images. We'll teach you Vault. Everything we do, we are going to be using sensitive data, which we call secret. So for secret management, we are going to use Vault, right? Vault. We'll teach you Docker. We'll teach Kubernetes, and a packet manager for Kubernetes is Helm. So because all our services, all our applications, ultimately we want them to run in Kubernetes as a cluster. We can use a packet manager called Helm. So we'll teach Helm. Now for our artifacts, where we're going to store our artifacts, we're going to use JFrog. So we will teach you how to use JFrog. We'll teach you how to use Docker Hub, so that when you create your artifacts, you're able to push them there. We will use Argo CD. So in place of Ansible, you can also use what we call Argo CD. So we'll teach Argo CD as our deployment. So once you've built your code, you've built your artifacts, you are able to use Argo CD to do deployment. In Kubernetes, we will, for security, we'll also introduce you to what we call Istio, which is a service mesh. So we'll teach that. For monitoring, we're going to teach Datadog. This is our primary monitoring tool. Datadog will introduce you to Jaeger. Jaeger is what is used for what we call tracing. If something has happened in your cluster and you want to find out exactly where it broke down. So you need tools that can pinpoint exactly where in the system did this happen. So we introduce you to a tool called Jaeger. So that Jaeger can pinpoint exactly what happened in your cluster and where, so that we can easily resolve the issue. Prometheus and Grafana. Again, this Prometheus, it is going to pull what we call metrics as we look at what is happening in our clusters. Then Grafana is a dashboard. How do we visualize it? Datadog has a dashboard because we need to visualize and see exactly what is happening. Then apart from that, everything we do, we have security in mind. So we have a whole module on security. Everything that we're doing, we have best practices and we have security in mind. So we will teach you what are the security concepts that you need to understand. So those are what we offer now.